In this video, I'm going to be talking about guest posts. Now, this is something that comes up quite a lot when we're talking about SEO, especially on my live streams, which happen every Wednesday, by the way, 8 p.m. UK time. Why not come and check them out? But yeah, guest posts are a great way to build links to your site. And yeah, I'm going to talk about them in this video. So let's get started. Hello, it's Alex here from WP Eagle. Hope you're all well. So in this video, as I said, we're going to be talking about guest posts. Now, guest posts are something that Doug Cunnington talks about a lot. Have you seen any of the videos I've done with him? You probably have, and you probably know what I'm talking about. He says that guest posts are a great way to build authority links to your website. And authority links are basically links from sites that have authority because, you know, they have links to them and they're respected in the eyes of Google. So when you get a link to your site from one of those sites, it's like a vote of confidence, and Google sees that and says, okay, so this site must be good, as this site that I know is good is linking to this other site. And so you get a few of them coming to your site, and then your rankings increase and you move yourself up the search engines. So it's all very well saying, well, you need to go and get some guest posts, but how exactly do you do that? Well, the first thing you need to think of is content. You need to create some really good content. I'm not talking any old rubbish that you can, get off Fiverr. I'm talking a really nice piece of content. It's probably quite long, maybe about 1,000 words. It's got diagrams, it's got images, it might have a table, it's full of data or whatever, depends obviously on what the piece of content's about. But it's a really good bit of content that, anyone would want on their site because it's that good and that useful, and it's going to, please their visitors. So the first thing to keep in mind is you need to create some good content. Well, you might be thinking, oh, how can I create some good content? I'm no writer. Well, you can find some good writers on sites like Upwork, and they charge maybe $20, $25 for a really nice piece of content. You do, of course, need to brief them very clearly and concisely with exactly what you'd like from them. And it might take you a little while to actually find a good writer that you can work with that actually delivers something that you want. But once you do, then obviously you've got a nice resource there where you can create more content going forward. Okay, so once you've got your bit of content that you're going to go and give to someone else to put on their site, you are obviously going to want to include a link to your site because that's why we're doing this. We want to get some links to our site. Now, you don't just want to put a link to your homepage saying visit my brilliant site, it's excellent. Because that's just not going to work. You want it as part of the article, so it's kind of an editorial link, if that makes sense. It makes up the article. So a good way of doing this is to create a complementing, that's not the right word, a complementary article on your site. So you've got your guest post, which is a nice long article, and then you've got your article on your site, and the guest post references this article on your site. So you're then linking through to the article on your site. So, for example, you might be doing an article about weight loss. I'm talking about weight loss because that's the niche site that I just built. It's all about weight loss. So, and you might be talking about, I don't know, healthy eating. And you've got an article on your site, which is, the 10 best healthy foods you can get for under $1. I don't know, top of my head. You've got some article that's relevant on your site, and then obviously you link from this guest post to that article. It says, for more ideas on how eating healthy, be sure to read our article on the 10 best foods you can get for under $10. I think you get the idea. You don't want to be linking to your homepage. You want to be linking to a specific piece of content on your site. So once you've got your bit of content, you then need to go out and find some sites that complement yours, that would be interested in the content that you've produced. So you can do this kind of a manual way where you kind of go out and go onto Facebook and Twitter and look for sites or people that have a big following, and then you want to try and build a relationship with them, maybe by tweeting them useful stuff, replying to their tweets, nothing salesy, just adding to the conversation, maybe leaving comments on their blog, that kind of thing, just basically engaging with the sites and trying to build a conversation so that you can build a relationship, so that then you can bring it round to saying, hey, I've got this great piece of content on yada yada yada, would you be interested? You can't go straight in with that line because you'll just turn people off and people think you're a bit of a spammer. So you need to try and build a relationship with people by, say, building rapport by comments and chat and tweets and just getting involved with them and adding value. Maybe it's on a forum and you answer questions and you just generally provide useful input. As I say, you don't want to be spammy at all. You don't want to say, hey, check out my site, or here's an article, do you want to put it on your site? You need to build up that relationship first before you start mentioning that you've got a great piece of content that would look great on their site. Would they like it? But you can't go over that line straight away. There's another way to find sites that are accepting content. You can do a Google search, and it's a very simple Google search. You head over to Google, and in the box you type in your niche or the subject, or something relating to your site. Then you add a little plus and some speech marks, and then in those speech marks you type in the phrase, write for us, or submit an article, something like that. And what will happen, Google will return all the sites that are in your niche and that have a page called, write for us or submit an article. You can then visit that page, and then you'll normally find a form or something like that where you can, maybe just an email address. It varies depending on the site. Then you can, send an email or fill in the form with your article. And, if the article's good enough, there's a good chance that they'll add it to their site. So it's an easy way to find sites that are open to guest posts. And in fact, they're asking for guest posts. So you've got a good chance of being accepted, as I say, providing your content is up to scratch. So that's basically it. You want to find some really good sites. You want to build a relationship with people who own those sites or write for those sites until it gets to a point where you can then offer some content that they are going to, like, and they're going to add to their site. The other way is to do some searches on Google and find sites that are actively asking for guest posts and writers, and contact sites that way. So that brings us to the end of this video. I'm going to do more videos going forward on link building because it is a hot topic and it's something that I know a lot of you guys are interested in. So I thought I'd just kind of start the ball rolling with this video. I hope you liked it. I hope it makes sense. Please leave your questions and comments below. I do love to hear from you guys. If you're not already subscribed, then please do click on the little eagle up there, and be sure to click the little bell to be notified when I do upload, which generally is every week. Here's another video from the channel. I hope you like it. And here's a couple of other channels that I produce stuff for. Well, yeah, they're my channels. Enjoy them. So until next time, bye for now.